Hello, Bashar.
And you, good day.
My
Just
question,
making sure you're all awake.
my question is about, you might say, the universal architecture and the light.
Universal architecture.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's kind of a lot of syllables for something that I'm trying to limit. And so, and the light beings that we refer to as archangels.
Yes, yes, yes.
The teaching that has been brought to me is that they would be sort of like one of the first creations of Source.
They're the first reflection of Source.
Right. Okay, super. And do these beings also work in other universes?
Well, yes, because by their very nature,
Of course.
they're not limited to a particular universe.
Right.
If they are the first reflection of all that is, then they are involved and engaged with a multitude of multiverses.
Great. And then the extrapolation from that would be that our oversouls are somewhat along a certain lineage as archangels, as a particular archangel.
When you say lineage, what do you mean?
As in the archangels cooperated with source energy in creation, and then oversouls came out of, say, maybe Michael or,
Well, there are levels of oversoul. Mm-hmm. You could say the archangels are one level of oversoul.
Right.
But then there are many different levels of oversoul based on the vibrational resonances that represent what those different oversoul levels have deemed that they will be experiential reflections of. So you have oversouls going all the way down until it breaks into the idea of individuated souls that then break down into the idea of higher mind and physical mind that give you your opportunity to experience the idea of physical reality illusion.
Right. Okay, great.
So there are oversouls and oversouls of oversouls and oversouls of oversouls of oversouls and all the way up to the all that is, which you could say, I suppose, is the ultimate oversoul. If you want to use those terminologies, you can.
Right. Okay, great. Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
All right. So I practice telepathy, and in the
You practice telepathy.
I do. Yes.
And what does that mean, practically speaking?
I speak telepathily. I communicate.
understand what you say the definition
Okay.
is. I am asking you what you mean by you practice. How do you practice?
With my mind.
Really? That's not what telepathy is about.
Okay. Well, I mean,
You remember our definition of it?
No.
Our reframing of the word?
no, I don't know it.
Telepathy.
Telepathy, yes, but telepathy, it sort of comes from a different place when I'm shaping thoughts to make them a little more oriented to my physical reality. Does that make sense?
All right, if you say so.
Okay.
Kind of a little bit cart before the horse, but whatever works for you.
Well, I in particular, I utilize it in the third dimensional reality with animals and elements of nature and Gaia.
I understand, but what's the first element that allows telepathy to actually function?
Being.
A little bit more of how it's expressed. Of course it's being, everything is being.
Okay, I didn't understand that question.
The idea is that the first fundamental element of telepathy is unconditional love.
Yes, right, okay.
Because it is activated by love. That's why we call it tele-empathy. Mm-hmm. It's not a mind thing. It's being on the same wavelength as something else. You're not reading anyone's mind, ever.
No. It's
You
not
are
mind
simply
reading.
having the same thoughts at the same time because you're on the same wavelength, because you are in love with them.
Right. That's what I think synchronicities are. It's hard to tell who had the experience first or whether there was a
Exactly.
first or not. Yeah.
That's telepathy.
Right. Well, sorry, I'm in the same subject. I'm sorry it's long, but thank you very much for that. My experience is by interacting with animals in nature on that profound telepathy.
Yes.
Is that they are better at unconditional love, obviously, sort of, I guess we would say, more ascended than humans are in a general
Well, only
sense.
because they haven't been taught out of it.
Right. And what I just wonder, is it because we're so foreign here, seemingly? Is that because we are seated here by...
It's not
we are
because of
foreign?
that
Okay.
so much as it is simply the ideas and definitions that you've bought into by forgetting who you are. It just goes with the territory.
Right.
That when you forget who you are, when you choose to forget, so that you can go through a transformative experience of remembering who you are and discovering who you are from a new point of view, what sometimes comes with the territory is the idea of buying into belief systems that are not necessarily in alignment with your true frequency. But that's just part of the game you're playing, and that's part of what it is you're transforming.
And so it's just a role that we decided to play.
Yes.
And this particular role is just so different, it seems, than
Yes.
others. Okay.
Yes. Well, it had to be very, very, very different in order for it to be a very powerful transformation. Remember, the darker the dark, the brighter the bright.
Right.
Yes?
Yes.
By contrast. Same thing as the rubber band analogy that we've used from time to time. The farther back into the darkness you pull the rubber band, when you finally let go, it'll fly that much farther and faster into the light. So you have created a reality of extremes, so that when you do finally let go of the negative extreme, you will experience such an ecstatic positive extreme, there will be no question and no doubt that you've transformed.
Right.
Yes?
Yes.
It is the beauty of how to use contrast in a very powerful way.
Yes.
So, congratulations.
Okay, thank you. This one's probably really short, if you don't mind. So love governs this universe.
Governs is not a word I would use, but we understand what
love
you
is
mean.
right. Are other universes composed of, or is there a higher vibration?
Everything is made of love, but obviously there are different degrees of beings that do and don't know that. Yes?
Okay.
So the extremes that you're experiencing is simply the product of not remembering that you're made of love. And yes, are there universes darker than yours? Absolutely.
And lighter?
And of course lighter.
Something greater and higher than love?
Absolutely, and lower.
Right. Okay, great. Thank you.
Just as you have found in exploring your physical universe that you are actually sort of in between the largest things and the smallest things, you will always find, no matter how far you look, forward, backward, up, down, side to side, you will always be in the middle, and every single being will always have the same perspective. You will always be in the center.
Yes.
Because everything is infinite in all directions.
Right.
So everywhere you are, and everyone you are, is the center.
Yes.
That's how it works. Does that help?
Very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. A circle is a finite boundary. We said it's infinite, so no circle is implied.
Hello, Bashar.
And a you good day.
I didn't expect to be here, but...
Well, congratulations and Shivai on your unexpected experience.
Thank you very much. I had a strong urge to write my name, and I was kind of scared to do it because I didn't have any question. I just came...
You don't need a question to speak with us. In fact, many times you'll get more information from us when you make a statement that is true for you.
Oh, thank you. I've been going through a lot of transformation.
Oh,
and...
congratulations. How exciting.
Yes, it is. Indeed.
She said, not sounding very excited about it.
Well, some of them were quite painful.
It's a challenge, we understand, but remember it's only painful because of your definitions of it. And that's what you need to look at. Anytime you experience pain, it's resistance to the natural self. The resistance can only come from definitions you've bought into that are out of alignment with your true self, which is why they feel like resistance. So pain is an opportunity to ask the question, what would I have to believe is true in order to have resistance that is creating the sensation of pain? Therefore, use the challenge in a positive way, and you'll go through it more smoothly.
I feel as I was suppressing my emotions since my early childhood, and I had an experience of ayahuasca, and I've noticed that that portal was open, and I started experiencing all kinds of emotions going through.
Yes.
So I think the emotions that I'm experiencing, basically those that I didn't go through, and once I really release all of them, it's going to be easier.
Yes, it's not so much about releasing emotions as it is releasing the definitions that don't work for you that create the emotions. Emotions don't exist in a vacuum. You can't have an emotion or a feeling about anything if you don't have a definition first. So the idea is that your emotions can put you in touch with the definitions. It's the definitions you need to release, and that will make all the difference in what you feel. Yes?
Yes.
The emotions have to be owned, not released. The emotions have to be delved deeper into to find the definitions that are generating them. Then when you release the definitions, the emotions that go with them, in a sense, will simply evaporate.
I've noticed that once I feel the emotion through, the answer comes in at the end.
Yes.
And it presents itself.
Yes.
How I should have been acting.
Well, not should, but can choose to.
Yes, yes. So I wouldn't create this.
Yes, well, that's your technique then of how you use your emotions to discover the definitions and then let go of them. And decide to choose what you prefer. Simple as that.
Sure.
Yes?
Yes.
All right, well, congratulations on finding and creating a permission slip that works well for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I had nothing to do with it. Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
One of my themes when I came to Earth was transformation.
That's common for most of you.
I experienced that being born in another country, El Salvador,
Yes?
and being really conscious since I was like probably 4 years old.
Yes?
Still having memories of how I've evolved as a child
Yes?
into the person I am right now.
Yes.
There is a lot of painful memories that I have.
The person you are now has the painful memories?
Yes.
Why are you that person then, if you don't prefer to have those painful memories?
Because a lot of my life struggles reoccur with that painful. For example,
Yes?
I'm not allowed to vote.
You're
But
not
I'm
allowed to what?
I'm not allowed to vote.
You're not allowed to vote anywhere on the planet?
Not here in the United States where I live right now.
Is that important?
To me, it's not important because I understand I'm part of the whole.
So if it's
But-
not important, then why is that an issue?
Because it feels like I'm limited.
Well, if you feel limited by that, then why do you not become a citizen of that country so you can vote?
Well, because I went through illegal channels.
All right, well, then why not change your reality so that you experience something different? Why not redefine yourself in a different way?
You mean just leave?
I
Go
didn't
back
say
to where I
that.
came
No, I
from,
didn't
or-
say that. I said, why don't you redefine yourself where you are as a different person than you have been thinking yourself to be?
I do understand that, and I do
Yet.
continue my life living in the highest joys
And
passion,
yet.
and following my passion.
And yet,
But yet it keeps reoccurring. It keeps coming back.
so the fear is what? What's
Well,
the fear?
I fear losing everything when
Define losing everything.
losing my, not being able to see my family, starting over again.
All right, and why are you buying into that as being more real than what you prefer? Why are you buying into that scenario as being more real than what you prefer? Don't have an answer for that yet?
I live in fear. I don't
The
understand.
fear does not justify it. The fear is the result of what you're buying into as true. You can't justify it by saying, I'm afraid. That's the result. The cause is that you're choosing to buy into a definitional belief system that isn't what you prefer. The question is, why?
Well, because I have family here and I care about them. So
No,
losing them.
No,
make-
you're missing the point entirely. What do you get out of buying into the fear scenario?
Nothing.
Yes, you do, or you wouldn't do it. None of you do anything and buy into anything that you haven't been taught to believe serves you. Even if it doesn't serve you, you wouldn't buy into it if you weren't taught to believe that it does. So how is it that you believe that something you don't prefer serves you? Because if you didn't believe it served you, you wouldn't hold on to it. It would be gone. So let's dig down and find out what beliefs you've attached to your motivational mechanism that makes you continue to choose to buy into a reality you say you don't prefer, yet you keep buying into because you're still afraid of it, which is the evidence that you keep buying into it as being more real than the reality you prefer. So let's look at your definitions that are saying that you believe that that reality is more probable, that you're going to lose everyone, lose everything. You believe, you've been taught to believe that that's more likely than the alternative that you would prefer.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yes.
So why do you have a definition that says that the scenario you don't prefer is actually more believable, more real, more likely, more probable than the reality that you do prefer? Why do you have that definition?
That's a tough one. It's
good. It's supposed to be challenging for you to go through this. But that's the real crux. You have a belief that the reality you prefer is not as valid, not as real, not as probable as the negative one you don't prefer. You have been trained to believe that it can't be as real. You need to really dissect that belief and understand why you are motivated to believe that way.
okay.
So, I will ask you another question. Is there any scenario in your imagination by which you could at least believe in the probability that your preferred scenario is actually one that can continue instead of the negative one? Is there anything within your imagination that says, well, maybe the positive scenario I would prefer could happen instead of the one I am afraid might happen? Is there anything within your consciousness that says that it could be maybe that way? Maybe?
Yes, I do try to imagine myself living normally, like just any other person.
All right. So when you do that, and when you allow yourself to begin to realize that that is just as valid, just as real a reality as anything else you don't prefer that might pop into your imagination, understand that that's your opportunity. When those things pop into your imagination that you don't prefer, that's your opportunity to do that comparison and say, what is it about that idea that I don't prefer that I am making appear to be more real than the idea that I do? And stay with that, work with that. This is your process. This is specifically your process to freedom. Is weighing and evaluating every time one of those little negative ideas pops up and you look at the scenario you would prefer. It's your opportunity to see where your definitions are, where you're putting the weight of reality, which one you believe is really more probable, and why. That's your process. So stay with it. And you'll be using the scenario in the way that you need to. And no matter what actually ultimately results, you have to know that if you stay in the positive state and use it this way as a positive tool, whatever happens will be exactly what needs to happen, and it's going to benefit you and everyone that is connected to you in your life in the way that works best for all concerned. You have to stay in the state where you know that. Otherwise, yes, of course, the alternative is despair. But that's not what you prefer, is it?
No.
All right.
How? I have another question.
Yes.
How is destiny is the choice that I made when I came to Earth the same as the destiny I was supposed to carry on?
In a sense, you could say that the choices you've made and the themes you chose to explore are your destiny, but while you are a physical being, you can then experience your so-called destiny or your theme in any number of ways that work best for you. The destiny or theme that you chose to explore, you will explore. But there are a number of ways to explore it. And you can explore it happy and sad and fast and slow and up and down, back and forth and side to side, and whatever way you want to. That's your personal free will. You will explore the theme. But so what? That's what you chose to explore. It doesn't mean that it has to be in any way, shape, or form experienced negatively or painfully or as a struggle. A challenge, yes, but challenges you want, because challenges are what reveal more of yourself to yourself when you go through them. That's the process. Mm-hmm. Welcome to life on planet Earth.
It's a tough one.
But you agreed to play this game.
Yes, I did.
But the game is changing. And you're changing it along with everyone else that also desires to change the rules of the game. That's what the transformational age is actually about. You're changing the rules of the game so you can play a different one. So you're a part of that. You're one of the pieces on the board. And you're deciding that there are other rules you would like to play by. So while playing by the rules you agreed to play by, now at this point in your evolution, one of the rules is that you can change the rules to a certain degree. Enough for you to experience a very different kind of reality. That's why we have recently told you that the splitting prism is now truly splitting physically. You are actually truly now beginning to experience the splitting of actual physical parallel realities. Some of the different sort of odd and paradoxical and mysterious things that you may begin to experience in life are actually reflective of experiencing more than one parallel reality. Now they're actually physically splitting apart. So,
Yeah,
does this help you?
it helps a lot.
How do you feel?
I feel lifted.
All
I
right.
feel like what I've gone through in my life has a meaning,
Yes.
has a more important meaning to find who I am as
All
a
right.
person.
Yes, and please remember, it doesn't really matter where you are, it matters who you are in that place.
Right.
Yes? Because it's not what happens, it's what you do with what happens. That's the measure of change. That's the measure of empowerment. Not what happens. Don't make your happiness and your balance conditional on the reflections. You decide what your state of being is. The reflections will eventually follow. But you don't have to need them to, because you're not basing your state on them. Otherwise, your state is being made conditional. Mm-hmm. Yes?
I understand.
All right.
Thank you.
Does this help you?
A lot.
All right.
Thank you.
Good day.